Hello again. So, you know what word I hate? Literally. Hate that word. Can't stand it. And I'll tell you why. Literally used to be literally one of my favorite words. Because any kind of word that exists where 99% of people misuse it, that's a word that's for me. The opportunity to correct everybody who uses something improperly, that just is right up my alley. Ego trips and egocentrism, whole nine yards, sounds pretty fantastic. But one of the things that I love most about language actually also happens to be one of the things that I hate most about language, and that's that language evolves and changes and molds to how people use words. And in certain situations, this is a pretty positive thing, right? New words develop, and as times change, we start to use words in a more modern sense. This is a good thing. This is what keeps our language fresh and interesting. But at the same time, there are negative situations which arise from this dynamic. And literally is probably the literally worst example of it. So here you have a word, very simply, that means exactly as is, verbatim, no embellishment, right? No exaggeration, just as is presented. And it was so good because it had this wonderful little niche here for a one word that you could tell somebody, you could tell someone something extraordinary, use the word literally, and translate to them that this isn't a joke, it's not a metaphor or parable, that this is from what you saw. You're not going to believe it. I was in a line the other day and I saw literally 25 grandmothers in a yellow dress. Literally, right? And they would go, wow, astonishing. 25 of them? All in a yellow dress? Grandmas? Wow, fantastic. What a sight to behold. This hypothetical conversation obviously only happens in my mind, but at some point someone has used that word to great effect. Then people started using it in the same way that people do, in the complete wrong context, and they started using it to mean the word figuratively. Figuratively, not as is, a shell of what I'm trying to say. I want to emphasize a point, so I've construed a wonderful example that's quite visual, that you can extrapolate, what I mean to say from what I have said. Oh man, there were so many grandmas in the line yesterday. Oh, there must have been thousands of them. Literally thousands of them. Right? And the person's going, oh, couldn't possibly be literally thousands of them. Odd choice of word, but there couldn't literally be, so it must mean that there was a lot, but not thousands. And so people started to use this bastardization of the word to mean its antecedent, its opposite. Here's the problem, right? So many people start using the word literally to mean figuratively that it becomes a canon definition. Webster and these other, dictionary sources include the figurative definition of literally as a definition of literally. So now literally means exactly as is, not exactly as presented. What? You have a word that is now its polar opposite and itself? How does that work? Well, we've got a useless word now. We've got a word that means nothing. It's gobbledygook. It's fucking bananas. It's mind-blowingly dumb. Literally is just one word that has exited use. It needs to just die out. The moment that you have a word that means both itself and its polar opposite, you've removed any possibility of using it in a helpful context. What are you going to tell me now? I was in the line the other day, and you're not going to believe what the cashier said to me. He said, "You are literally the ugliest person I've ever seen, get out of my store. And I said, wait, am I really? Or am I just ugly? And he said both. Literally. You people ruin everything.